What's the story, Raw fans? Tonight's topics on the Wrestle Story are a brand new title unveiled,
Roman versus Shane at the Super Showdown. Too many S's.
Yes. How you doing, James? Brock Lesnar leaves both champions on notice.
All that and more on tonight's Wrestle Story. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Wrestle Story, where we discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Tuesday after SmackDown, every Wednesday after NXT, and after every pay-per-view, as well as have special shows throughout the week.
Depending on what's happening, whether
Yes.
there's a pay-per-view or whatever.
Definitely.
Stuff like that. Recap shows,
Overall...
Well, we're talking about Raw. It's Monday.
Yes.
Obviously.
Definitely.
I missed the Becky match. Yeah. I saw that. Yep. I did see that.
Overall, I was kind of disappointed in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't real impressed with it. So, and we'll talk about it and see what people's thoughts are on this.
Yeah. So, we actually started the show off as I kind of expected with the Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman situation. Coming off of last night, where Brock Lesnar won the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I'm still not quite understanding how this even happened, let alone why it happened. And so we're coming off of that. And they come out, and Heyman does his regular thing, Brock Lesnar, he's no longer the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of all life. He's now Mr. Beast in the Bank. And so he went on and on about that. And then, they started talking about who and when they could cash in. And then Seth Rollins came out, and he told Lesnar off. He was like, you should cash in on me, because I know I can take you. I did it once before. That's how I got this in the first place. And I'm going to do it again. And so then Paul Heyman gets... I know. I'm just about to say that. Heyman brings up Becky, okay? So I'm going to tell you what he said, because I screenshotted it. Somebody put up a tweet with what he said. And so Paul Heyman comes back with this comment after Seth talks about how he is, he can take him, and, he's going to be the main event, and blah, blah, blah. And Heyman says, you should be used to waiting, Seth Rollins. It's like waiting around 7 hours at WrestleMania for your girlfriend to main event the show that you dream of main eventing. And I was like, oh no, he didn't. He did not just bring it up. But he did. And it was pure savageness. Pure savageness. It was so great. I got up out of my seat and I was like, I can't believe they did that. But they did. And it was so good.
The only thing that would have made it better is if...
Becky Lynch then came out?
No.
Oh. Darn.
If Seth said something like, yeah, she's a beast slayer too. Look, she slayed me.
No, but totally. Or we should have come back with some stupid thing like, I don't see you main eventing. Fool. You're the one doing the talking here.
Yeah.
Something like that. That'd be funny. That would have been hilarious. And so then after that, we get Kofi, who comes out, and he's like, wild card, I'm here, and I think you should cash in on me, Brock. And I'm sitting there going, why are you encouraging him to cash in on you? The crowd was totally behind it. They were like, woohoo, yeah, get the Money in the Bank briefcase off of him. Let's go. Do it now. And so, I want the briefcase off of him just as much as anybody else, but I wouldn't go out there and be like, cash in on me. Ha ha ha. I wouldn't.
How you doing, Anthony?
I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. I don't. First off, I don't like Brock Lesnar just because of the way.
I don't either.
You see him every 6 months. Maybe we'll see him more now. But I think if you're going to have him be the champion, the face of the company, he needs to appear more than what he does.
I agree.
And maybe my thoughts will change if
I've gone on rants about Brock Lesnar before.
If he starts to appear more than what he has in the past.
But as of right now, no promises. I know he did say at the end of the night that he would be back next week. So that's good to hear. Hopefully. I guess we'll kind of see if he actually does show up or not.
Yeah.
Or if it's all talk. And it's just Paul Heyman who shows up.
Well, again, they have to create the storylines.
Actually, it's no talk because Brock Lesnar does no talking at all. Paul Heyman does.
Yeah. They have to create the storylines, and hopefully they start to create them. I mean, that's what needs to come out of it. No matter what, they have to create storylines. Because storylines is what sells the shows. Storylines is what gets people interested. You could have the best wrestling ever. If you don't have the storylines, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Agreed. 100% agreed. So that happens, and then Paul Heyman says something along the lines of like, "I've been informed that you guys should like stick around, and we're gonna stick around too because you guys have a match later, and so we're gonna." I like to see WWE have another title for the women, like an IC title. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Having a second like lower tier title for the women.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice to have another belt because the men have a whole bunch of belts, and so why not? Why not? If you're just handing belts out at this point, if we're putting out kind of ridiculous belts at this point,
they have so many belts. I mean, it's just like.
Then why not?
I think that's one of the issues I have. I mean, I don't know. It's
so yeah. Paul Heyman, talks about how they have a match later in the evening, and then we go to commercial, and then we come back, and we're still backstage, and Kofi and Seth, they're like walking around, and then Triple H comes up to them and is like, "Hey, you guys have a tag match tonight against none other than Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley." Who would have thought? I wouldn't have thought. How about you? Did this come as a shock? That face looks shocked. I can't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either.
Totally
it's like,
shocked.
What? Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley teaming up together against Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston?
Yeah.
What? It's unheard of.
Yeah, they'd never do that.
Never.
Pretty original storyline.
I know. I was so shocked. I was like, whoa, this should have been the main event of WrestleMania. Let's be honest, people. No, I'm kidding. Don't ever. No, I'm just stop. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. So they announced that, and then we get like a little Sami Zayn promo thing backstage. Sorry to say, they're wasting Lashley. I agree 100%. I thought when Lashley came back that they were going to put him in the like Brock Lesnar championship scene, and then they didn't.
Well, they're wasting a lot of wrestlers. I mean, there's a lot of guys they could do stuff with, whether they're main eventers or mid-carders or even your lower card guys. There's a lot of stuff they could do, and they just
think WWE has 15 championships on
the
main roster.
It's like ridiculous.
Like an insane amount.
It's like, and they don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
They have no clue what they're doing with them. The tag team division is like totally messed up.
Oh. Rey Mysterio is the U.S. champion. I was about to ask, who's the U.S. champion?
So
Rey Mysterio is.
Adding another title didn't really do much.
No. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Our thoughts on that, because boy oh boy was that a situation. So then we get like a little. Oh.
Hi Andrew.
Hi Andrew. How's it going? Me and Bendy say hi. Well, hello.
Tell Bendy hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Even though he's down the hall from us.
Yeah.
I could yell down the hall, but then it'd probably hurt everybody's ear.
No. Boy. So we get a Sami Zayn little promo video thing talking about how he has a match. He was talking with Bobby Lashley and was like, Trips needs to take over. I agree.
Something needs to happen, because right now, the way it's set up, I don't think it's...
needs to leave.
Yeah, definitely. I mean...
I have hope. No, I don't have any hope at all. Well, what I find interesting is that recently they've, like, the last 2 days, it hasn't been Vince or Shane or Stephanie backstage. It's been Triple H. So it gives me a little bit of hope, but, like, not much hope there.
Well, the thing is Vince ultimately has the ultimate say in the end.
That needs to change.
And so we'll see if it does. I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But they're going to have to do something.
Something.
Because with AEW coming up, and we got a little nugget on them here towards the end of the show we'll talk about. With them coming up, I don't, I think they're going to have WWE running for the money, and I think you'll see a lot of people that'll just give up on WWE and switch over, especially if they have good storylines and good shows.
Yeah. So Sami is talking to Lashley and is like, I don't want to face Braun Strowman, okay? Somebody hung me by my feet last night, knocked me out and hung me by my feet. And I think it was him, and I don't want to go fight him because it's not going to go well for me. And Lashley's like, no. I have to face him at Super Showdown. He's yours tonight. You soften him up for me. Okay, thanks, bye. Sami Zayn's music hits, and we then get into the Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman match, which did not get started right away because Braun Strowman came out, attacked Sami, and then they went and went around the stage and beat each other up. And then they came back in the ring, and Braun Strowman got the win. Now, my question is, going off of this thing last night where Sami Zayn was hung by his feet, who did that? I'd like to see Becky versus Stephanie at SummerSlam, not Charlotte 2.0.
Or how about Becky just versus anybody?
Yeah, I will agree with that. Talk about the women's division in just a hot second. But who?
Why did they have the Sami Zayn Braun Strowman match?
I don't know if they're trying to just finish it off from last night or.
Well, he's already destroyed him 400 times.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
I mean,
Sami Zayn,
even in
as
the match,
the title reads, people, Sami Zayn returns from the dead once again. Okay.
Well, even in the ladder match the match they had before Money in the Bank, where he had 7,000 ladders thrown on top of him, he actually took a beating in that match.
And then the week before that, he was compacted in a trash.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Nothing changed. They did the same thing 3 weeks in a row.
And then he was hung by his feet last night. We still have no idea who did that.
Braun Strowman destroying, Sami Zayn, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Now my question is, are we now thinking that it was Brock Lesnar that hung him by his feet because Brock Lesnar took his place in the match? Or is that a whole separate storyline?
I think it's a different storyline.
I hope so. Because I'm still going with my first thought of it being Bray Wyatt.
That's who I would say.
Because it wasn't Braun Strowman, people.
No.
It wasn't. It just couldn't have been.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been.
No.
I mean, personally, I don't think it could have been. So Bray Wyatt makes the most sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's who I would say, but I would like to have seen him do more this week.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Or today, not this week.
I was hoping, I said that during their match, or after Braun Strowman went, I said, they should make it go dark, and then they should have Braun Strowman backstage, hung up by his feet. Then it makes Braun Strowman look like he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then it makes you wonder, wait a minute, then who did do it? Because if it wasn't Braun Strowman who hung up Sami Zayn, then who did it? But now Braun Strowman's hung up by his feet, so it couldn't have been, he didn't hang himself up, so who did it?
Yeah. Definitely. That would have been good.
It would have drawn in that,
Yep.
What? Who in the world? So, then after this, we have good old Lars Sullivan in an interview in the ring. And before he can say anything, guess who comes out? The Lucha House Party, of course. Lucha House Party. And they come out, and they attack Lars. But Lars, he fights back, and he almost beats all of them up, but they get out. And Lucha House Party runs away. I'm predicting that Lars' first match on Raw, or at a pay-per-view, is going to be against none other than the Lucha House Party.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him. I mean, you have him go out and you just have him destroy all these wrestlers, and then you put him in this storyline with the Lucha House Party. I mean, what's the point? I don't understand it. And this is part of the problem with WWE. I just, there's no sense
I would love
in a
Lars
lot of what
versus,
they're doing.
Okay, I would love Lars versus Braun. I would love that. Love it. It'd be so much better.
I think it'd be cool if they'd build it up to that.
But much better than Lucha House Party. But I just have a slight feeling that next week, or the week after, we're going to see Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party with Lucha House rules.
Well, I don't
Whereas
know.
Lars Sullivan is going to do exactly what he's been doing the last 3 weeks without matches. And he lays waste to them.
Well, and that's why I don't understand this whole thing that they're doing with him. You have him go out, you have him destroy...
R-Truth. Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy. I mean, who else? Who else was there?
I
think that's it. Then you have him destroy Lucha House Party.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Makes no sense. Makes no
what they're doing with him, I don't know.
No sense. So, that happens. And then we get a great match between the one and only... I didn't even know I was going to do that. The one and only Ricochet and Cesaro, who BT Dubs has new music and is on his own, like for good now. They gave him a new theme and everything.
Yeah.
New intro, new everything.
Yep.
He's done with Sheamus. Sad to say. I saw a rumor somewhere that Sheamus might have to retire.
I think he's hurt.
But I don't really know.
I think that he's injured. And apparently his injury might be bad enough that he has to retire.
That's what I saw, at least. Don't know if that's true or not. But this was a great match. Great match between the two. I wasn't super excited at first because I was like, Sheamus, or not Sheamus.
Cesaro.
Cesaro versus Ricochet. Boy, oh boy. Putting Ricochet in those exciting matches, right? And then I got into it. It was a good match.
Well, it's a good match, but again, you start to build Ricochet up, and then what do? You cut everything out that he's doing, everything that's going for him, and I don't get the storylines that they do with these guys.
Yeah.
Which is
Dude,
why...
okay, so wait.
Okay, so what makes me
a little mad is with the fact that they had all those, newer... we're going to be superstars guys put in that Money in the Bank match. Mm-hmm. And then they took their opportunity away when they gave it to this has-been, Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's just it. It looks like they're going to build some of these guys up, and then they do nothing.
They do something stupid, like have Brock Lesnar win the Money in the Bank match. I saw somewhere...
And this is why people are tired of WWE.
That apparently Ali was supposed to win the Money in the Bank match. And that's what he knew going into it, was he was supposed to win, and then they changed that last second, right before the match happened. They brought Brock Lesnar was hid from, he was hid from everybody in the building. Nobody knew he was there. And then they brought him in last second, and Ali didn't end up winning the match.
Well, I don't know, but, they need to change what they're doing. Whether it's Triple H that's in charge, or Vince that's in charge, whoever's in charge, they better start to look at the storylines and look at what they're doing with their wrestlers and start to create some things. Yeah. And I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's frustrating especially with guys like Ricochet and Aleister Black.
Yeah.
And Ali and
well, Aleister Black's been brought up, and now, they're both him and Ricochet, they bring up
Andrade. That's another one.
They're going to do something, and now Aleister Black, you've seen some promos out of him.
The last couple weeks.
But you haven't seen him anywhere on matches. You haven't seen him anywhere.
Maybe he's hurt.
I don't know.
Is he hurt? They do the promo thing with him instead?
I don't know. But they need to figure out what they're going to do with him. Because, like I said, right now with these wrestlers that have come up that they should be building up, they're just not doing anything with them. Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating, like I said, especially with Ricochet and Aleister Black and Ali and Andrade, who they came from... Well, Ali came from 205 Live, but the other three, they came from NXT, and they were, big down there, and then they bring them up here, and it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating, I'm not going to lie. So, Cesaro ends up getting the win in the match. There was, a segment in the match where, I don't even remember what it was, but Cesaro with Ricochet, where he got thrown through the ladder last night.
Yeah.
And so, they were doing the whole back thing, and so... he got hit in the back somewhere, and he, sold it, so well.
Yeah.
It was, really good. It looked like he was oh, my back. Oh, this is not good. Aleister Black versus Finn coming soon. Yeah,
I think
that'd be a good match. Oh, whoa. Let's have Demon Finn Balor versus Aleister Black. That'd be a good match.
But I don't want them just to throw the match together. I want them to build it up.
Yeah. Always.
I mean,
Always build.
If they build it up, then I think it could be good.
Yeah.
But, just throwing a match together, just to throw a match together, I mean, the match would be good, but it's like I said, the storyline is what makes these things interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so, Cesaro gets the win. It's a good match. Then we get an AJ Styles interview talking about last night, how he got defeated by Seth Rollins, and how he was in the match of his life. And, where do you go from here, AJ? Well, I work my way back up.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much what he said there. And that was it. Then we go to Mr. Roman Reigns, who is in the ring, and who gets ready to speak on the microphone. But before he speaks, we get Shane O'Mac. Shane O'Mac comes out. He interrupts him, is like, yo. Oh, I see, the wild card's here. You out here, you think you're going to speak? I'm going to stop that right now. He tells Roman that he's done with Miz. He's completely done with Miz. It's over. Last night was it. And then Roman says, well, you know what? I'm done with Elias. So why don't you come here and show me show me what you got. Come at me, bro. Because you want to keep talking smack. But come down here. Fight me. See what happens. And Shane is like, no. Not happening. Nuh-uh. Then we get, he issued a challenge. He was like, Shane, come fight me. What in the world did I say? I seem to recall talking about a Roman Reigns and what is that? Shane McMahon feud? Did I call that?
Well, I don't...
Did I call that? I did! Didn't I? I had it going down in different circumstances, but I called it.
I don't understand the whole point of it.
And
it's
so,
dumb.
Right after this happened, I was like, Shane and Roman at Super Showdown. And guess what we're getting, people? Roman versus Shane at Super Showdown.
I don't understand where they're going with it. Why?
Because they want to do corporate Shane versus...
I don't understand why they're doing Shane with anybody.
Shane versus anybody and everybody.
You have 100,000 wrestlers on your roster, and you bring out Shane McMahon every week to, challenge people. Mm-hmm. It's dumb. And what happened to Elias? Elias...
He's having... He has a Money in the Bank rematch with Elias tomorrow night on SmackDown, and so that's what Shane said. Shane said, you're not done with Elias because tomorrow you have a match with him on SmackDown.
He's going to destroy Elias, or there's going to be outside interference or something stupid.
And so he's got that tomorrow, and then I guess it's done, and we're now focusing on Shane.
Again, storylines being created, they need to do a lot better with.
But I called this one. I'm smart cookie. So we got that. But what else was odd about this whole situation? After he was like, no, sorry, Shane should just stop.
100% agree. I don't get the whole idea. You have these wrestlers, and then you throw Shane McMahon out there. Why?
Shane McMahon with his...
Use your wrestlers. Use what you
punches.
have. This is part of why people are getting turned off by WWE. And so... they've got to do a better job with this. And you have 10,000 wrestlers.
Obviously. As the 24/7 championship has shown.
That's what I was going to say. So you throw out this, sorry, but this is a stupid title. Why? The point is what?
Up. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're still talking about Roman and Elias.
Yeah, I know, but it ties into
We're going to talk about that in about 2.2 seconds. Actually, it's going to be a little longer than that. We got a couple other segments to get through here, but we're going to talk about that. I have some things to say about it too, but I'm just holding back. I'm holding back.
Pretty much, because he should have never beat The Miz. They should have ended it with The Miz winning, but
they didn't.
I don't like the way they did that storyline.
Now, the other questionable thing about this segment was after Shane was like, "No, sorry, I'm not having a match with you." They brought out freaking Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre legit stood there. He stood there right beside him, and it made no sense whatsoever. It made more sense later why they brought him out. But right there in that moment, it was like, why'd you just bring Drew McIntyre out here? To stand by you? What?
Yeah.
He was like, nope, sorry, we're not having a match right now. Drew McIntyre's music hits. He walks out, and then he's like, but you know what we are going to do? We're going to have a match at Super Showdown.
Super Showdown?
Super Showdown. We're going to have a match at Super Showdown. And then they, left. And that was it. And then we get the Usos, who come out here after this segment is over. I don't understand. It's like everything just, ran together, and I don't quite understand what we just watched.
Well, you have the Usos.
Pandemonium is what we just watched.
Usos versus the Revival.
Yeah, we're moving on to this match. This was a flipping amazing tag team match. Okay, this was good tag team wrestling. With all the stupid shenanigans that these two teams have done over the last 3 weeks, this match, first time ever, Revival versus the Usos, ever on the main roster. They've never faced each other, and this is the first time, and this was a really amazing tag team match. That is what tag team wrestling should be. It shouldn't be whatever the buckets we called the stupid business they did 3 weeks ago. That was not it. This is good tag team. This is good tag team stuff.
Yeah, it was a good match, I thought.
Good tag team stuff. Should be like this all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else to say. It was amazing tag team match.
I mean, it was an outstanding match. I mean, it was... And they've got a little bit of a storyline going with this, so...
I mean, it started off kind of goofy, but, we're still...
The only thing I wish they would have done with this is yeah, definitely a good match, is have this match, continue to build this storyline and have it at one of your pay-per-views.
Yeah, this was a pay-per-view stand, this should have been on main card pay-per-view, not pre-show, not anything like that, main card. Yeah. This is a main card match. Definitely. Is what this was for a pay-per-view. It was really good. Which is shocking to me because generally I don't say that about tag team stuff. But maybe they're going to get their act together and finally get their tag team division where it should be.
Hopefully. I mean, I still think that there's probably...
Dude, they have Young Bucks in AEW. We're going to give them a flipping run for their money. They are like the gold standard for tag teams. So...
The thing is
kick it into high gear.
Well, but with this, you still have issues with the Revival, and obviously Vince McMahon, based off of the tweet that we saw the other day with. Oh,
you never talked about this.
Huh?
You never talked about this. You were like, oh, I forgot to talk about this, and I was like, oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, the tweet that
it was Dash's birthday.
Yeah, it was one of them. I don't remember which one.
It was Dash's.
I think it was Dash's birthday. Dash's birthday, and. Vince McMahon has wished happy birthday to all these other wrestlers when it was their birthday.
Over the last several weeks, and then he didn't put
Dash's
out a
birthday.
Tweet.
So Dash leaves a tweet that
he was like, "Hey Vince, where's my birthday shout out?"
Yeah,
and it was so funny. I was like, "That is hilarious," because Vince legit has wished so many people happy birthday over the last I don't know how many weeks. And then you don't wish Dash happy birthday. It made me laugh.
So it's either part of a storyline or there's legitimate issues there.
Vince legit is just I could care less.
Yeah.
You guys are a bunch of jokes.
Yeah.
But the Revival ends up getting the win. Like I said, amazing match. Awesome stuff. Hopefully, this it should be for a title. I feel like I'm going to say this, and I might regret this later, but they should put the title belts. That'll be the next title that they make up. The title belts. You were here to defend the title belts.
Are you talking about putting a title on one of these two teams?
Yes.
I don't think this is part of the problem.
I'm talking about this for being a pay-per-view, okay?
Okay, but even without a pay-per-view, this is a good match to have.
But I can't...
Even without titles.
It's hard.
This is the problem with WWE. You have 7,000 titles already. Everybody has a title, so we're going to have 19 title matches at our pay-per-view.
So, the thing is, with the Raw Tag Team Championships right now, they're on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Have they defended them very much?
No, but does anybody?
No.
There's only a couple titles that get defended.
To me, personally, I think if you put the belts on one of the two of these teams, they would get defended more. Here's a question for y'all. Do y'all think that the cruiserweights should be on the main roster permanently to help ratings and not blame the superstars?
I personally think you have to have... I mean, if you're going to put the cruiserweights on at your pay-per-views and then go, talk about the ratings and things like that, it's like NXT. When you bring NXT stars up, a lot of people don't know who NXT stars are because they don't have WWE Network and they don't hear about the wrestlers. Mm-hmm. So when you bring them up, you have to build them up. And you can't change their gimmick or change the way they're doing it or have them out there like 2 weeks and go, oh, that was it. Now we're going to go to someone else. All of the Viking Raiders or Viking Experience or War Raiders or whatever, whatever they're calling them.
It is War Raiders Viking Experience.
Whatever they're going to call them.
Viking Experience Raiders, I think is what I call them. They
messed around with that. Why? I don't know.
Where have they been the last 2 weeks?
Well, obviously.
They relinquished their NXT titles.
Yeah.
After the fact, it came out in a tweet that they were relinquished after
and obviously,
that NXT went off the air. And I forgot to mention that.
Like with the War Raiders, they aren't being used right. I think that they could have got over real well with it in the tag team division, except for they brought them out as a stupid name. And yet you have who's the one that we were talking about, the one that you were like, well, they call them the War something.
Oh, Ember Moon, War Goddess.
Yeah, the War Goddess.
They flippin' called her the War Goddess yesterday on Money in the Bank. And so I was like, what the heck, people?
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks so much.
So, I don't know. It's the way they're doing it is like totally messed up.
It just didn't make any sense to me. Because if you're going to call the War Raiders, you're not going to call them the War Raiders. But then you turn right around and you call Ember Moon the War Goddess.
So I guess going back to your question, you're doing about the cruiserweights. The cruiserweights, I think, need to be permanently on the main roster if you're going to build them up. If you're going to have them out there, you can't sit there and say it's the superstars, because if you don't put them out there, people don't know who they are, and it doesn't matter what you do with them.
Yeah, that's what okay. So sorry, we're gonna go off topic again. This is what I've been saying about Lacey Evans for weeks. We haven't seen why she should be put in the title area because they haven't used her on TV. That's the issue I have with it. Okay? I'm pro Becky in this situation because Becky Lynch is better. But I'm just saying, they haven't given us a reason to think why Lacey Evans should have been in the women's title picture at all. Because she had legit, since being moved up, been in the Royal Rumble match, and she had one match against Natalya to determine being put in the title picture. That was it. That was it. And then she'd been used on house shows, but that doesn't help you if you're not seeing her on TV. Because that's where the majority of people see her.
The issue is they never really pushed anybody.
No,
so if you're not going to push anybody, it doesn't matter.
They did the same thing with Charlotte.
It doesn't matter.
They did the same thing with Charlotte, and the reason they're doing that is because of her name. Because she's Charlotte Flair, and they're like, Charlotte
Flair is a good wrestler, and she does a good job of what she's doing. She does everything right.
But they did not.
So you can't compare Charlotte Flair to everybody else that's on the roster.
I'm not trying to do that, but what I'm saying, it's along the same lines of where they did not build either of them up for either championship, like to get their opportunity.
But
for Money in the Bank.
But again,
I understand Charlotte's already built up.
Okay, but again,
Charlotte's already built up. She's been there for forever. Lacey hasn't.
Okay,
now the issue is they didn't use her on TV to make us think why she should be in the title.
Who did they build up?
Nobody, and that's what I'm saying.
So it doesn't matter.
For leading up to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with the women's match, they did not build up Lacey, so people didn't get behind Lacey because they didn't use her on TV right. And I'm not, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
it's
but they
not
didn't
Lacey's
use anybody,
fault.
so,
Yeah, what I'm saying here is it's not the superstar's fault. I was going along with an example, okay? Example. They didn't use Lacey right. That's not Lacey's fault. That is WWE's fault, and Vince's fault for not putting her in that position
But
correctly
who
before going
takes
into
the
it.
heat?
Lacey does, right?
Exactly. And
Which is what I'm saying.
You can't sit here and blame
Which
her.
is no, and that's
for
I'm not
the
trying
way
to do that. I'm
storylines
saying
are made and the way they book things. This is the whole idea is, you know, everybody's been, well, Lacey what's Lacey done? We haven't even seen her. Well, if all they're gonna do is have her walk out and do nothing,
that's what I'm saying.
Their storyline's not being built.
That is legit why I've complained over the last several weeks, is because WWE hasn't done anything with Lacey.
They haven't done anything with the women's division.
I understand that, but what I'm saying in this scenario, where we're talking about the Lacey versus Becky match going into Money in the Bank, they did not build up Lacey properly the way they should have to make her look strong going into the match. Nobody could get behind Lacey going into Money in the Bank because you haven't seen her do anything.
They weren't going to get behind Becky anyway. Or behind Lacey anyway.
Well, there could have been a shot of some people getting behind Lacey. I understand Becky is huge right now, and I'm behind Becky, but people weren't even given the chance to get behind Lacey because
I think they
WWE
did exactly what they
didn't
wanted to
put
with that.
her in the right
Look,
position.
you're still talking about, well, she shouldn't have been in that match.
I'm not saying she shouldn't have been in that match. What I'm saying is I have a difficult time seeing how they built her up, putting her in the match. It made no sense.
But, well, again,
They didn't build it up properly.
do they make a lot of sense with anything they do?
I don't know.
No.
But anyways, I missed a whole bunch of comments because I was looking at your face. And so I don't even know what we're
I
talking about
didn't tell you to look
anymore.
at my face. I was looking at the screen the whole time.
Well, I wasn't. Sorry.
Back to, the 205 Live thing, Scott. I think it'd be awesome to put them in front of the NXT crowd. Maybe do 205 like on Thursday or something. Some other night for an hour show. I think that's what,
you know who we saw
do it in
today
front
for
of
the first time in
NXT
forever?
crowd.
Cedric Alexander. Now, where in the world was Buddy Murphy?
Oh, they're definitely going back in time with the women. It's like they're not promoting anything. They're not pushing anything with the women.
The big thing a couple years ago was the women's evolution, okay? Since then, we've gone forward a little bit. Then Ronda Rousey came along, and they were like, oh, cool, Ronda Rousey, yeah, let's get behind this whole women's division thing. Now that Ronda Rousey's gone, they're going back in time.
Good to see you, Rob. We're doing good.
And so it's like, were they caring about the women's division strictly for that year that Ronda Rousey was there? They were caring about the women's division because Ronda Rousey was there. Not because they cared about their women's division as a whole. They cared about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. And
now that she's gone, they're like, oh, women's division, it's fine. It'll be good where it is.
Well, the reason Becky got built up is, I think a lot
when
of
it comes to Becky, I'm strictly biased.
I think a lot of the reason Becky got built up, I think having her nose broke first off helped push her over with a lot of people.
Well,
when
what's
that happened,
really funny is she actually even talked about that in her WWE 24 thing from the other day, from last night actually. So she talked about, she was like, the punch that changed my career forever.
I think that it was. I mean, I think that's
and it was an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen. No. That's the thing. Like, Nia Jax was like, aha, I'm going to recklessly punch you. And so she did. And then it
the one thing
she
did, she continued to carry out what she was supposed to be carrying out. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think that helped get her the big push. She walked up into the crowd with a bloody face. Yeah. And everybody's like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, and what's funny, she was like, in her thing, she talked about, the last night, she was like, I walked up there and I was like, bask in my glory, people. This is my show. And then I turned around and I walked and I went through the curtains and I was like, I have no clue where I am.
So she helped, she helped put herself in that position. She,
her special was great. I agree. It was amazing. It was like, I was like, oh,
I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen part of it. What I saw of it, it looked pretty cool. I thought it was really good. What I've seen of it, it does look pretty cool.
You should watch it. Just saying.
So, Becky won belt. That's funny. That's what I've been saying.
Stop. I was going to put that in the title, and then I didn't. I was like, I'm not doing that.
But she, she kind of created her gimmick, her storyline.
Yeah.
And which pushed fans into, like, liking her.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, and actually people...
But I think Lacey Evans has done a good job because she has used Twitter
her Twitter game
bash
is pretty decent.
Becky and things like that. And she's done things that are making people hate her and go, why does she deserve a shot?
You know what sucks about the whole Twitter thing? Is Becky isn't coming back with good comebacks because people get upset when she does. They're like, oh, you were being too rough. You were being too rough. It's like, dude, this is called I'm making, like, a storyline.
Well, I don't know if that's why she's doing it or why she's not doing it. The fact is you know, Lacey's done a good job with, you know, creating the why do you deserve to be there.
Becky haters. And I'm sitting next to the biggest one.
I'm not a big Becky hater. I just, you know.
You're just not a big Becky fan.
No, I'm not a big Becky fan.
So.
I think she's done great. I think what she's done is created a persona that is huge. Rob, we're going to get to that, and you're going to hear my opinion on it.
It may not be good.
No.
It may not
You may never come watch our show again, Rob, when I get done telling you what I think of it.
Ah, that's funny. So, anyways, yeah, we answered questions and stuff, and then we kind of got off track. And so now I think we just finished talking about the Usos and the Revival. Now we're on to an Alexa and Nikki segment, and so they're backstage. And Alexa's like, Nikki, you did a great job in Money in the Bank, but you didn't win. And she was like, well, Alexa, I was touching the briefcase. She was like, you didn't win. And she was like, I'm sorry. And then we get to, after that, we have a FireFly FunHouse segment. This is, in my opinion, the weakest FireFly FunHouse segment.
It wasn't very good.
We've seen in weeks.
Yeah.
It was good. It helped move things along a little bit, but, like, it was not great. So, essentially what it was is it was, like, pictures. It was, you know, the and this is a friendship that will never, ever end. And it was, like, the extended version. And so we got a whole nother verse. And while that was happening, there were, like, pictures of kids playing in the park or pool or whatever. And then they started going, like, black. And there were, like, kids with T-shirts that said, like, let me in. And there was, like, a kid with, like, a sign that said, like, let me in. And it was, like, the creepy Bray Wyatt stuff. And then they showed the pictures of, like, his creepy masked face from last week. And, I mean, it was a good segment. FireFly FunHouse is awesome. Bray Wyatt has a new shirt. Yeah,
we saw
I think I saw that, and I kind of want to buy it. Like, if I'm not...
They could do so much with this. It's a matter of whether they decide to do it. Because they could make this pretty awesome. They could make it a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing.
What in God's name are they doing to Nikki?
I don't know. Here's what I'm hoping.
Question.
Here's where I hope they go with this. I hope that she's trying to be like this good person on, you know, and being friends with Alexa Bliss.
It's very similar to Bray Wyatt now that I think about it.
She's all in with Alexa Bliss, and I'm just nice person. And then you see her snap, and then she like falls into the Bray Wyatt like clan.
I think that would be cool. I honestly don't think they have anything else for her.
I would love to see it done that way.
It would be awesome. You keep trying to take credit for the idea that I had the other day for Money in the Bank.
But I've been talking about since
they
started.
So cool, and then if they did
yes, but who's the one that since they started doing this Bray Wyatt thing? Who's the one that said something about
Nikki Cross
being?
I've agreed with you with that.
Sister Abigail.
The whole thing. I agree with that.
I mean,
but you were like talking about Nikki Cross and what they could do with her, and I was like, I brought up the thing about Money in the Bank, and you're trying to.
Definitely, Nikki Cross
trying to take my ideas.
Split personality. I think it'd be cool if you know, they did something with her and tie her into the Bray Wyatt, the whole Bray Wyatt thing.
It would be so cool. So
you
cool.
know.
So we get that, and then we get the Moment of Bliss segment with Becky Lynch. So Alexa Bliss is obviously her host, but Nikki Cross just follows her out there anyways, and so Nikki Cross was there too. And then we're like, yeah, cool, we're here, and we got our coffee, and it's all good, and my guest is Becky Lynch, who successfully defended her Raw Women's Championship yesterday, but unfortunately lost her SmackDown Women's Championship. And then Becky comes out, and they kind of talk for a second, and then we have good old IIconics who come out, who haven't been used on TV in
Forever.
I can't even read how long. And they're like,
okay. You say the Iconics haven't been used on TV. Again,
they have been used, but they've been used on commentary.
Again, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
The way
there isn't a tag team division.
Well, the way WWE has done this and done the whole women's tag team division, the whole women's division in general is like
since
right
WrestleMania,
now there's no build up of anything for the women's division.
Since WrestleMania, it's gone downhill really fast.
But think about this, okay? The reason the women's division was built up.
We also do SmackDown Live.
Yes,
we do a recap on SmackDown Live, and we do that after SmackDown Live, obviously tomorrow, and then we also do a recap of NXT on Wednesday. So you can come back for that.
The women's division is not a whole lot different than what's happening in the men's division.
No.
The only difference is the women's division doesn't get as much publicity
TV
and isn't out there as much. You look at it, you had the big star, you had Ronda Rousey, and they used her
really
to build everything up. And so, you had kind of this storyline, someone's going to be fighting Ronda Rousey. The men's side, who do you have? Brock Lesnar. And who do they build the big storyline? Who do they build it around? Brock Lesnar. Without Brock Lesnar, they would be lost.
Why?
Because it's because it's the way they're doing it. They don't create storylines for anybody else.
You don't have
to tell me where your storylines are coming from.
There aren't.
There are none.
But
the storyline is, hey, who's going to go beat Brock Lesnar? The storyline was, hey, who's going to beat Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
And so then they have no idea where to go with anything else.
To me, it's really sad for the women's division, especially with that, because of where they were at to where they are now, and then they built it up as being this big thing, and like I said, the women's evolution, and they did all of that to now look at where they are now with they had Ronda Rousey, and it seemed to be like you said, Ronda Rousey was the focal point. She was involved in every single storyline no matter what, because she was your Raw Women's Champion, and that was the big thing. And now that you don't have her, it's the women's division has fallen off the face of the map.
Yeah.
Now, what I find, even sadder, okay, this is, frustrating. Because, in my opinion, we're going to talk about Evolution for a second. The all-women's pay-per-view. They're not even doing that this year because they don't think it's going to do well because they don't have Ronda Rousey.
Well, but the thing is, they can sit there and say they haven't, it's not
they are not doing a pay-per-view. And the all-women's pay-per-view that was, really good last year, that honestly, the Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella match should not have been the main event. It should have been the Charlotte and Becky last woman standing match that should have been the main event. But because you had Ronda Rousey, she was in the main event.
Well.
And that's what they built it up as, which is dumb because the Becky and Charlotte match was so much better than the Ronda and Nikki match was.
It was, but again, they don't build anything up. It's James says it, they don't care. And this is why I think AEW has a legitimate shot at coming in, with a TV deal. They have a legitimate shot at coming in and kind of disrupting things for wrestling. We'll see what happens. See if they create storylines and do it the right way. Because right now, WWE doesn't do that.
Yeah. AEW women will be better. Yeah.
I think that I agree, but I think the reason it's going to be better is I think they're going to promote it, they're going to push it, and they're going to make it part of the whole program.
Sasha was born. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way they've done it, the women's division is terrible. I mean, but the thing is, it's not just the women's division. The men's division is in the same spot. They don't build storylines. They don't do anything that makes people go, wow, that was cool. Or they threw a twist in there that I really wasn't expecting.
Or they throw a terrible twist in there by putting Brock Lesnar as the winner of Money in the Bank.
It doesn't shock me. If they have this, they use Brock Lesnar all the time and they put him in these same positions. So this wasn't a total shock to me to have him. It made me mad more than anything.
Yeah, that's what it was for me.
But I wasn't shocked to see him come out and be the one that fills in as the last guy.
I was like, what? No, what are you doing, you idiots? You idiots! What are you even doing? Stupid! This is stupid! I can't believe you're about to do this.
Yeah.
I don't even believe that you would go this far and put Brock Lesnar in the Money in the Bank match when he actually was only in there for about 2 minutes.
Yep.
Pushed over some camera guys with a ladder, and then he hopped in there, threw Ali off the ladder, and was like, ha ha ha, I am Mr. Money in the Bank. I was like, how did that even count as you being in the match?
Well, yeah, I agree.
How did that even count?
I don't know.
Okay, you were
like,
in the match
the
a total of 2.5 seconds.
And that's, again, it's part of the issue with WWE. You like, just bring someone out and, like, have them come out and win it. Which, yesterday I said, if you haven't seen our stream from yesterday, go check it out.
After you're done here.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, I talked about, well, if Brock Lesnar can just walk out and take down the Money in the Bank,
then why couldn't Sonya Deville?
Then why didn't Sonya Deville, when she had the opportunity to just climb up and grab the Money in the Bank and...
Make any sense to you? Because it didn't to me.
I don't know. It's... but anyway, with this Nikki Cross thing, I think they could create a storyline that people are interested in, and with Alexa Bliss, and possibly tied into a Bray Wyatt thing. But we'll see. I mean, WWE's has a bad reputation for not creating these storylines and making people interested. So we'll see where it goes. But I think they have a legitimate shot of coming, creating something here.
Mm-hmm. So the IIconics come out and pretty much rub it in Becky's face that they have 2 titles and she does not. And she's like, well, why don't you 2 shut up? Because in a minute here, I'm about to take both of you to the ring and I'm going to become Becky 3 belts. And so, you should stop talking. And then Lacey comes out and is like, well, WWE is dying a slow death.
They are, but I think they could get it turned around if they just start creating the good storylines. I mean, that's going to be the key, is creating the good storylines.
So we have Lacey who comes out, and she pretty much does her regular thing that she always does, and is like, well, Becky. You know what? I am the reason you lost your SmackDown Women's Championship. She was like, well, yeah, you are. And now I can put all my focus into you because you screwed me over. Thanks. And so, she was like, I could take all 3 of you if I wanted to. And they were like, you take the 3 of us? And then Nikki Cross comes up and is like,
I'll be your partner.
And like the way she said it, it was just like I don't know. It was like, oh, Nikki, you're just great. And so she came over and was like, I'll be your partner. And then the other 3 goons were like, but that's still one less person.
3 planks.
3 planks.
That's funny.
Yeah, 3 planks. That's right. 3 dopes, 3 planks. 3 fools. 3 sitting ducks. We're going to call them that. 3 planks. I like 3 planks. So they're sitting there and they're like, well, you're still missing 1 person. And Becky was like, she'll be our 3rd partner. And he pointed to Alexa. And Alexa was like, what? Excuse me? And Becky was like, you don't have to do anything. Just sit there and look pretty. And so then they walk to the ring and we get a 6-woman tag match. And Alexa is still injured, still not medically cleared to compete. She's able to be at ringside, obviously, as it's been shown. She carried her cup of coffee down with her, and she stood there and watched the match. So it was essentially 2-on-3, but they were calling it a 6-woman tag match. But that is not what it ended up being.
No, but I think overall this was a good story.
Match? I have a couple critiques.
Well, I thought the match was okay.
It was okay. Some people need to learn their spots.
Well, the thing is, when you're not used,
they were like, well, no, and I get that, and I understand that, but you could clearly see Becky yelling at Billie Kay to, like, get closer. She was trying to do her missile drop kick off the top rope, and Billie was not close enough, and so Becky was, like, sitting there on the top, and she was like, get closer, come closer. And she yelled it like a couple times, and then she finally got closer, and then she was able to do it, and then she won the match for her team. But, it was like, just...
Yeah.
You know.
I
like sat there and I watched it and I was like,
when it was happening, I don't know if it was like a mess up on Billie Kay's part as far as being too far away, or if like Becky Lynch is like, hey, come closer, come here, you know, like, hey, come fight me. So I don't know if that.
Well, the way it looked, just with her sitting on the top rope for as long as she did, because she generally doesn't do that in any other match that I've seen from her. When she does that particular move, she has never ever sat there that long, which is why it made me think that it's on Billie Kay's part and that she was too far away. And
well,
Becky
in that case,
wasn't
maybe
gonna hit her.
what Becky should have done is saying get closer, because, you know, she said it loud enough several times that people could hear it, is go over and grab Billie Kay and like punch her or something and move her closer to the ropes and then step up on the ropes.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess she could have, but if she was trying to stick with the way they kind of plotted it out to get the win, then...
So with this whole, you know, this whole match, this whole story that they had going here, I don't think this is about Becky Lynch. I think that, first off, I think it's doing the thing with Nikki Cross, you know, doing her little thing of, oh yeah, I'll help anybody out, and creating the storyline there.
Yeah.
But I think what this is going to do, since Lacey Evans ended up walking out away from the IIconics.
Yeah, Lacey did. Lacey ended up walking out.
I'm thinking that this is going to build a tag team match between the IIconics, Lacey Evans, and guess.
Charlotte Flair.
There you are.
Mm-hmm. I believe before that, though, we're going to get a rematch between Becky and Lacey, because I just see it happening.
Well, you might. I mean, it wouldn't shock me to see it. But I think they're going to build towards the IIconics and versus... dude, you like moved and like our lighting got messed up.
I didn't do anything.
Maybe you need to move, and what'd you do?
You put your arm in the way, you fool. See, I fixed it.
Good. Oh yeah, good job. You adjusted our lighting.
Magic. I went from
the camera adjusted to us and like
orange. I was like,
don't ever smack your head off the table again. So yeah. I think what they're gonna do is I think it's gonna build up to something, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, they have this wild card rule where, you know, Lacey can go back and forth between SmackDown and Raw. So,
yeah.
you know they can do it.
Then we have the Mick Foley new championship belt thing. He unveils the 24/7 championship belt.
Okay, first
Sorry,
off,
this is dumb.
This championship belt
absolutely
looks like something I would buy at Walmart. And the whole time I sat there and I was like,
I think that Mick Foley got thrown off with the whole promo when people started booing, because I think he got confused on what he was going to say, and like when people started booing, he was
I felt so bad because like it wasn't good.
Well, it's like he's like, uh-oh.
He's like,
people are booing here now.
Crap.
What do I do with this?
Man, this is supposed to be a success. This is not a success.
Yeah.
They're booing the crap out of me.
The only reason you would do this, is because you have 100 wrestlers that you don't put on TV ever.
No, legit. Okay, my thing is, this is the same thing as the Hardcore Championship. You legit don't have the name Hardcore in it, because this was along the lines of the rules. Everything that he explained, he could have just said, oh, this is the brand new Hardcore Championship.
Okay.
And everybody would have gotten it, because it's
yes,
the
it
24/7. The 24/7 rules apply to that too. You know, and obviously the hardcore rules apply. It's a false count anywhere. You can get pinned anywhere. It doesn't matter what you use in the match. That's what happens here.
Again, I don't think it matters what.
And so, I just don't understand. Why do you not just call it your Hardcore Championship? Why not bring the Hardcore Championship
I don't care
back?
what you call it. It's a dumb idea and stupid, and the point is what?
There is no point. 3 title changes throughout the evening, people.
The only reason
champions.
The only reason that you have this is to get your wrestlers that you don't get out there. You can go, well, check this out. We're backstage, and we have a new 24/7 champion.
It's so...
I mean,
ridiculous. That's
the only reason that I could see doing it.
I saw people on Twitter who were kind of like, oh, well, this could be... See, you did it again. You turned me orange again.
Sorry. Trying to fix my phone.
That's Raw.
Trying to keep track of my notes here.
Go ahead. But what I saw on Twitter, people kind of had mixed reactions. Some people were like, I don't understand this whatsoever. This is pointless. And other people were like, well, I mean, it's giving EC3 or No Way Jose or somebody something to do. And I was like, no, it's pointless. And I felt really bad for Mick
Dumb
Foley.
title, dumb idea.
I felt really bad for Mick Foley just because he got booed and he was
not
like,
like it. I'm gonna turn your range again here.
It's fine. But he was like, I just felt so bad.
I hope not, because it's a dumb idea. I don't understand why it's even there.
I felt so bad.
Do not get why it's there.
I felt so bad for Mick Foley. Like, so bad.
Yeah.
Just because he came out and he was like, it's time to put the WWE back to what it used to be.
Yeah.
Raw. What does Raw stand for? Raw. And so then he got going and I was like, oh, he's going to bring the Hardcore Championship back. And then it was the 24-hour.
I think even with the Hardcore Championship, if they'd done it with this idea, I think it would have been terrible.
So stupid.
I mean, I don't
feel so bad.
get it.
I turned orange again.
It's because you dropped your head down. See, it was your fault the first time because you dropped your head down. Our camera's adjusting to it, and you're like turning yourself orange. Good job. And maybe it's more shows up more on our screen than it does on everybody else's.
I don't really know, but that move, whatever the heck that was.
That fixed it. Good job.
Skills. See? Look, I fixed it.
So then we have, we have Titus O'Neil as the first champion of the new 24/7.
Then, shortly thereafter.
Bobby Roode then comes.
That is not his name.
Oh, Robert Roode, sorry.
It is Robert Roode. Get it right.
I'm going to call him Rick Rude.
Robert Roode. Thank you.
So Robert Roode then ends up pinning, as they're walking up the aisle, Robert Roode ends up pinning.
Titus O'Neil's like, whoo, whoo,
yeah.
whoo, whoo,
and Robert Roode comes out and hits him, and then knocks him down, and then pins him and takes the title.
And then everybody from the ring, you had like EC3, No Way Jose, even Drake Maverick, 205 Live manager.
Yeah.
He came in.
They also
you had Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So.
Okay, so wait. One other thing about this championship. Mick Foley said it will be defended anywhere by anybody on any brand. NXT, NXT UK, WWE, SmackDown, Raw, 205 Live. He said even some legends could hold this at any point in time. And so now my next question is this just, he said superstars. And superstars as a whole is the men and women's division.
Yep, Rick Rude 2.0.
So, is this championship going to be able to be held by both the men and women's division? Because he said superstars, and that's what they call everybody as a whole.
I would say anybody can hold it.
I hope so. Let's have... Okay, so I'm going to spoil it.
Because you know who's going to be the first woman that's going to hold it?
Who?
Nia Jax.
No, that'd be forever. She's not coming back yet.
She's been working out and doing stuff, so I think she's going to come back quicker than what people think.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know, but I was like, we should go to SmackDown tomorrow, and our truth should just be, like, hanging out with Carmella or whatever, and then Carmella just, like, kicks him in the stomach and is like, 1, 2, 3, and she's like, ha-ha, sucker, we're no longer friends. I wanted this.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was the champion of something.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
That would be really funny. Anyways, so I don't know.
Then we have the Drew versus Drew McIntyre.
Drew versus Drew McIntyre.
Sorry, The Miz, not Drew. The Miz.
We had Drew versus Drew McIntyre. Don't quite know who Drew is, but he's against Drew McIntyre, people. And boy, oh boy, was this a compelling match.
Yes, Drew won.
Drew ended up winning, and Drew McIntyre ended up standing there to watch it.
Sorry.
And so
The Miz versus
Drew McIntyre. It was a really, really great match. Like I said, I don't know who Drew is. He must have been one of those local competitors that they pulled in like they do all the time. And so, I mean, I just don't know. It was so...
Let Botchfest just stay away. Yeah, definitely.
So Miz versus Drew McIntyre with Shane in his corner. And Drew gets the win after Shane helps him out. Drew gets the win after Shane helps him out. There we go. I don't know why that sounded weird. And then after that, Shane, gets on the mic and he says, "You turned me orange again."
Sorry.
He says, the way that all worked out, Shane got on the mic and said, "You turned me orange again." No, Shane got on the mic and says that he has one last parting gift for The Miz. And then he sets him up for coast to coast. And before he can hit that, Roman Reigns comes out. And Shane jumps. Not onto The Miz. He just jumps out and leaves.
Yeah.
So that was that. Exciting. Building up to their match for Super Showdown. Exciting. Then we get a Samoa Joe promo video. And Samoa Joe came out and was well, he didn't come out. It was a promo thing from backstage. His nose was huge.
Yeah.
It was legit huge. He totally 100% broke his nose. And so they said that Rey Mysterio dislocated his shoulder or something. He did something to his shoulder in the match during the attack from Samoa Joe. And so that's why he wasn't there tonight. But the fate of the U.S. title will be determined next week.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, again, why Samoa Joe was wrestling Rey Mysterio Jr. in the first place is beyond me.
I'm getting choked up.
I mean, Rey Mysterio always gets beat up and, destroyed by the bigger dudes.
Always. And so, we'll see. We'll see who the champ is next week. So then we get R-Truth as the new 24/7 champion. So Robert Roode comes out of the building and he's like, "Truth, help me, I need somewhere to hide." And so he's like, "Here, get in the back of my trunk, hop in." And so he hops in the trunk and everybody is like, where'd he go? And Truth is like, he went that way. And then he goes back over to the car and he's like, "It's safe, you can come out now." And Robert was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then Truth was like, "Oh, get in my car, we're gonna get out of here." And he opened the door and there was a referee sitting there and Robert Roode is like, "What is happening?" And he's like, "Pachoom," and he punched him in the face or whatever and hit him and threw him in the car. And then the ref got down and he got the count and he won the championship. And then he drove off into the sunset.
Again, dumbest thing ever.
R-Truth is a champion again.
Yes.
So...
But this is stupid.
This is stupid.
Dumb.
I thought it was kind of a funny segment.
This segment's funny, but you're not creating storylines. You're not doing any of that. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Undertaker versus Goldberg, yes, at Super Showdown.
Super Showdown. Super.
A lot of people don't want to see it, but I think it could be. I think it could be. I think it could be, a solid match.
I mean,
the last time we saw The Undertaker, I thought he was in good shape and looked good and stuff. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think it could be a good match. I just don't think people are as into it just because, they're like, I've heard a lot of people. 55
years old?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people that are like, if this match would have happened 10 or 15 years ago, I would have been more interested. But now that it's happening now, not so much.
Well, the thing is they're two guys that don't flop around, go do flips around the ring or anything like that. So, it's not shocking. They're not going to put on a show like a lot of the wrestlers do now anyway. They didn't when they wrestled in their prime. And so, anyone that's going to expect to see that, I think that these two are, with their styles, are good enough to be able to put on a show, even at their ages. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
No women not watching. Yeah.
So then we have, again, the reasons why there's no women. Then we have Seth and Kofi versus Bobby Lashley and Corbin.
And apparently, this is a no disqualification match.
Yeah.
So says the ring announcer 2 minutes before the match starts.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So ultimately,
Seth and Kofi get the win.
Yeah.
After being beat up by some chairs.
Yeah.
After beating some people up with some chairs, they get the win. Then we have good old Brock Lesnar. I was just waiting for it. He comes down and he circles the ring. And people are like, "Oh, Brock Lesnar, who's he going to cash in on?" Well, actually, really, it's just Michael Cole who's like that. And then Heyman, you can, like, hear him. He didn't have a mic or anything, but you could, like, hear him talking to Lesnar when they were standing there. The camera was close enough, and he says, why don't we come back next week to tell everybody who you're going to cash in on?
Yeah.
So they're going to be back next week,
To talk about who they're going to cash in on.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yep. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So that was Raw.
That was the end of the show. Again, there were some good parts, some bad parts. Overall, I'd probably give it a C.
Or so.
As to grade it.
One thing I do want to say about the Saudi show and how, JMC was like, no women, not watching. Well, you don't have to watch the show, but you can come check us out as we recap it.
We will tell you about the show.
We will recap it, and so you can hear all the great details without actually having to watch it. Yes. So, just after on June 7th, after the show is over, like, come check YouTube.
Yes.
Because we'll be here recapping it, and you don't even have to watch the show. Tell all your friends.
Yes. So I said we had some AEW news.
I went orange again.
Pac and Hangman Page
are wrestling
tomorrow, I believe.
I can't check it because my phone just died.
Mine's about to die, so I'll check it real quick.
Oh, boy. It will be Kofi calling it.
Yeah, I'm sure
that
it'll be
Brock
Kofi.
will cash in on? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's going to be... I'm orange again. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Kofi. Just due to the fact that Kofi is the lesser of the two opponents. And I don't think they want to go in that direction with Brock and Seth again. At least not right now. Because it's being rumored that Brock and Seth are going to... I will be here. I follow y'all on Twitter. Yeah, you do.
Cool.
You do follow us on Twitter. But, it's... with the rumors of there being Brock versus Seth at the Saudi show, is Brock going to walk in with the WWE Championship?
I don't know.
Is he going to cash in before? Or is he going to beat Seth, win the Universal Championship, and then go on to beat Kofi to be a double champ?
He might. I don't know. Then we'll call him Brock Two Belts.
No, I'm never doing that. Sorry. It only works for Becky.
Okay.
And those who say otherwise will perish.
Because so, AEW, Adam Page and Pac were supposed to wrestle at the pay-per-view. Double or Nothing. There's some issues, and I've heard different stories. And I heard it was Pac's fault, but I heard that not necessarily Pac's fault, but the fact that he's champion of wherever, and because he's champion there, some things didn't get worked out for him.
It's a British wrestling thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were also some rumors before about his passport or something.
Yeah.
Where he was having issues with that, and so that's why he wasn't there at the Double or Nothing thingy.
Yeah.
The All In, not Double or Nothing, sorry. All In, whatever one of those was.
Yeah.
And so that's why he wasn't there. So I wonder if he's still having issues with that. So Hangman Page went over there instead to have their match together. Because you just click on the photo.
No, it doesn't say where they're going to have it at. But
I thought it did.
It's going to be, they're having it tomorrow, May 21st. It's 12 p.m. Eastern, so they will have, I'm guessing it's over there since they're doing it that early.
I'm thinking it is. I saw
so
somewhere.
They're actually
I don't know
having
where
the
it
match.
Was.
It's gonna
Nottingham,
be on,
England. It is in Nottingham, England. So that would make perfect sense.
It's going to be on
as to why they're not doing it here, because they can't get over here.
AEW's
YouTube page. All Elite Wrestling.
So I'm guessing it's going to be a free match that's on their YouTube page.
I'll watch it. Will you be able to watch it?
Bayley winning was pretty awesome.
That, I screamed so much, you don't even know. We're never not filming our reactions to a pay-per-view ever again.
Yeah, we're going to film your reactions because everybody would love to see it.
It was amazing, okay? Between me screaming at Bayley to cash in the briefcase, stop staring at it and cash it in, to me yelling at Brock Lesnar for even being in the match.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good show.
So anyway, they have that match. And then they have the pre-show, May 25th, the buy-in. They're actually going to stream that on YouTube, their YouTube channel, for free. And then they'll of course have the pay-per-view that.
Yeah, the Sami Guevara match is on there. I can't think of who he's facing right now. But...
So they are giving some of their stuff that's at their pay-per-view for free, and similar to what WWE does.
I had somebody on Twitter ask me today, are we doing a Colin. It was Colin. Shout out to Colin. I follow him on Twitter. He follows me on Twitter. We have good WWE conversations all the time. But he asked if we were doing a Double or Nothing recap show or prediction show.
I don't know that we should do a prediction show because, like I said, I don't know enough about some of
recap show.
But we could do a recap show.
Recap show could be fun. So if y'all are interested, we'll do a recap show. And so.
Yeah, leave like if you want to see a recap show for Double or Nothing AEW. We're gonna start covering AEW anyway once it starts on TNT.
Yeah, I mean, man, oh boy, we're just starting to cover all new things because last week we started covering NXT UK, and so we are now going to cover a whole bunch of stuff because we're cool.
Yeah, or something like that. With that, my phone's about to die. Your phone is dead.
My phone is dead, and our iPad is
about to die.
We've been here for a long time.
Because obviously we didn't charge it.
No, we didn't. Thanks to everybody who stuck around for the hour and 18 minutes that we've been on.
Kept the chat going. We love it.
Yeah, we super appreciate it.
We'd hope to see you back again tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow.
We'll do SmackDown.
To recap SmackDown Live.
Because you guys make it a lot easier to talk about things.
Yeah, you really do. Like, more than you know.
Yes, definitely.
See, we wouldn't have even talked about 205 Live or anything like that if we hadn't gotten questions about it.
No, definitely not.
And so thanks.
Yep,
definitely. We start new conversations.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who stopped in.
Go tell all your friends that we have, this YouTube.
Oh, what about Impact? I kind of have...
We've talked about
wanted to do Impact. I've watched Impact here and there on Fridays sometimes. It really just depends on what I have going on. But, I mean, it looks interesting. Impact.
Well,
if anybody would be interested in watching an Impact recap, maybe. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe we could tie some stuff in with some stuff. I don't know. It's with streaming already 3 nights a week and sometimes 4 nights a week and sometimes 5 nights a week. And
sometimes we stream all week.
6 nights a week and...
sometimes if it's WrestleMania week,
we have
stream
talked
all
about
7.
doing Impact. We've talked about doing...
I'm not opposed to it.
Obviously, we're going to do AEW, definitely. So, it's something we've talked about. We'll see. If we decide to do it, we'll let you know.
Yeah. But we'll be back tomorrow for SmackDown Live. I know that for sure.
Yeah. And definitely back tomorrow.
Should be good. We'll see.
Yes.
So
with that, make sure that you... Subscribe. Tell all your friends about us.
Yeah,
subscribe to our channel. Hit the little bell so you know when we go live. Follow us on Twitter.
I am at Maven Gleen.
I am at Mr._Gleen. And we are at The Wrestle Story.
I am on Twitter all the time, every day, always. And so if anybody ever has any questions about anything, hit me up on there because I'm always on Twitter and I answer pretty much everybody.
Yes, hit her up because she will talk to you. And not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just
you're just a busy person.
When I have a job, it makes it tough to get on Twitter and check things out frequently. So
I don't. So
she checks things out.
I'm on Twitter all the time. Like from the time I wake up, like legit, Twitter's the first thing I check when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, literally all the time.
And I'm like, oh, cool. People tweeted me. Awesome.
Definitely.
So, I'm on Twitter all the time. Hit me up on there.
All right. With that, we're going to check out here.
We'll be back
Peace
tomorrow.
out.
Peace.